In this tutorial, we're going to take a survey drawing and convert it to a basic line work drawing to be used as an XREF in our design files. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to our project and open up the survey drawing in Civil 3D. So once your survey drawing is opened up in Civil 3D, the first thing we want to do is we want to go to the top left and hit the down arrow right next to the C. Then we're going to go down to Export, just hover over it, and then go across to Export Civil 3D Drawing and select it. So when this opens up, the settings you want to have is Export to File Type should be set to AutoCAD DWG. External DWG references should be set to Bind and Insert. Files to export should be Current Drawing Only. And you want to make sure that Include Sheets is unchecked. This is because we don't want to export the paper space, we just want to export model space, the drawing. Then you're going to check out the export settings. So the drawing file version, what you want to do is you just want to make sure you go back at least one version. So our current version right now is 2018. So we're going to go back to 2013. And basically all this does is make sure that any survey figure or points are converted to a block or a polyline. And also we want to make sure that the export feature line is set to 2D, not 3D. We want this to be all a flat on elevation 0 kind of drawing. Once you have that set up, go ahead and click OK. And then we're going to set our destination folder. And then we're going to leave the destination file name prefix set to ACAD. It'll just make it a little bit easier to find the file once we export it. Once that's complete, go ahead and click Export. Once the green bar is all the way across, you could go ahead and click OK, and then X out of this menu. Now that the export is complete, we could close out of our survey drawing, and you just want to make sure you select No because you don't want to save any of the changes. Then we can go to our project folder. And open up the drawing we just created, which is the drawing with the ACAD in front of it. So go ahead and double click it. Okay, so this is the drawing that it created from the export. Now, the first thing we want to do in this drawing is we want to make sure we get rid of anything that we don't want in here. So I'm going to get rid of all these spot elevations by selecting one and then right clicking and then selecting Select Similar. Once they're all selected, go ahead and delete. Also want to get rid of these contours and labels. So again, I'm going to right click, select Similar, and delete. Now you'll notice that there's all the points are still here, which we no longer need. So to do that, we're going to do a layer delete command, which is LAYDEL. And we want to delete them by name. So go ahead and select name. And then you want to scroll down to the layers that you have your points on. For me, it's the P- layers that have the points. So select all those layers, hit OK, and then yes. And then down here on the command line, you'll see that the layers were deleted. Okay, once that is complete, the next thing you want to do is we want to get rid of any blocks we have in here, and we want them to be line work or text. So to do that, we're going to right click again and select Quick Select. For object type, we're going to select block reference. And then for the operator, we select all. Once you have that done, click OK. Now you'll see any block in the drawing is highlighted. And what we want to do is we want to do a burst command. And burst is like explode, except burst will keep it on the layer that the block was inserted at, whereas explode will just put everything on layer 0. So when we XREF this into another drawing, one of our design files, bursting the blocks will make it a little bit easier to control layers and freeze certain things. So go ahead and type in burst, enter. All right, sometimes after you open up the exported drawing, the burst command has a problem. The easiest fix for this is just to simply close out of CAD and go ahead and open it right back up. Then I'm going to do the quick select command again, and object type drop down to block reference, operator select all, hit OK, and then type in burst. And there we go. Now you can see that this is just a piece of text, and this is just a circle instead of a block, and it is on the layer that the block was on. Now, sometimes a block is inside of another block, so there could be some leftover blocks remaining, like this one. So we're going to run that command again by going to quick select, selecting the block reference object type, and selecting all as the operator, hit OK, and type in the burst command again, and hit enter. Okay. Now, to make sure that all the blocks are in fact bursted, you can do a quick select again, and in the drop down, you'll see that that is no longer a selection, meaning that they are all done. So we can cancel out of this. Okay, so now if we select everything and we go into Object Viewer, we can see that not everything is on the same level, and we want this to be a flat drawing just on, elevation 0. So we can escape out of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to window around everything, and then I'm going to type in the flatten command. Hit enter. Remove hidden lines, no. All right, so now if you were to select all these objects and go to your object viewer, you can see that they are now all on the same level at elevation 0. So before we finish this up, what we want to do is we want to make sure that all these layers are ready to be XREF. And what I mean by that is by setting certain things to by layer. This way it's easier to manipulate layer line weights and colors and plot styles when you XREF it. So we're going to select everything again by windowing it. We're going to set the color to by layer, the plot style to by layer, and the line weight to by layer. This way, when this drawing gets XREF'd into your design files, it's just going to be a lot easier to control things and use it. And then once we have all these steps complete, we want to make sure that this drawing is cleaned up as possible and ready to be used. So to do that, there's 3 commands. The first command I would like to do is the purge command, which is just PU and enter. We're going to select purge all and then purge all checked items. Then we're going to purge styles, which is purge S, and enter. Hit OK. Then what I want to do is an audit command to make sure any errors are fixed. So type in audit, whoops, and enter. Fix any errors, yes, and enter. And the last command to clean up the drawing is dash pu, which is dash purge. The first thing we want to do is all. Hit enter. Then type N and enter. And then we're going to do that command one more time. And we're going to select the regapps. Enter, no, and enter. Okay, once all this is done, this drawing is ready to be used and be XREF'd into your design files. So that is it for this tutorial, and it's just as easy as that. Thanks.